We got John here. Kyle's behind the camera, and he doesn't know how to operate the goddamn thing, so... Disclaimer, too, if these goddamn getting scratchy sound on these microphones, I don't know what the fuck's going on with it. Bash in the Sky is always fucking me, so it should be good. We did sound checks, a couple of the videos, but if it does, I don't fucking tell you. If you're pissed, believe me, I'm fucking pissed.
I'm fucking pissed anyway.
Totally pissed, but it's
I'm
still...
pissed I even got to deal with this shit, dude. God damn it.
Well, hey, man, it'll still sound better than some of the Nunslaughter demos, right? Sound quality? So, John, I seen people sending over. You went on Garza's podcast, and it seemed, pretty good for a guy that doesn't know death metal on there. It seemed like you went over to educate the kiddos. How did you feel about that?
I feel good about it. I didn't know what the hell to expect with it. Holy crap, I didn't know what to expect, I knew it was going to be, kind of a different crowd or whatever, but I didn't think it was going to be, like, as big as it ended up being and stuff, But he was gracious. He did his homework to some extent, I think,
yes.
on it. I was kind of surprised with some of the stuff he brought up, not even just on the interview, but just talking with him beforehand. He's a really nice guy. He was cool,
Yeah.
He's from just a different music world than me, but that also to me makes it kind of cooler because it's a guy that it's not like a death metal dude that is a big fan of the band. He's was more trying to just hear my side of how things were, and for me, I thought that was perfect because
you should educate him as opposed to talking about a guy that already knows it all. You're just kind of rehashing what he knows.
Yeah, and you almost educate. Maybe him some extent. I don't know how much he knows about anything, but I knew that other people that were watching it was going to be, kids that are into metalcore, new metal, and these commercial, YouTube metal or whatever it is. I don't even know what it is now, but. I figured it was a good chance to make my case and just explain who I am and the style of music that I like, and to people that don't normally know it. That's almost what I used to do in the '80s, going to the Willowbrook Mall in New Jersey, finding some kid with a Metallica shirt and being dude, there's check out this demo, I'll bring a necrophagia demo or something, or a death demo, and be like, check this out, if you like Metallica, this is the next step, so it's almost like how I was when I was a kid, trying to get people into the scene is also another way of kind of getting people to check out stuff that they might not know about, because not everybody knows there's something heavier than the stuff that's just force-fed to them,
That's why I got that slogan shirt. What's heavier than Pantera? Do you know that story?
No, I don't.
So the slogan the reason it came from, I literally have a slogan shirt that says, what's heavier than Pantera? Because our younger brother, I don't know if you met him, but we have a younger brother that's more into thrash. He's Crucified Immortals.
I don't know. I might have met him, but I don't know. I can't offhand him.
But because it's me, Eric, and Chase that own Hell's Headbangers, right?
Yeah.
And he's our younger brother, and he is more into thrash. And I told the story, but you didn't know it. He's working at Denny's at the time, right? And he gets off the clock, and he had a denim on. And, he has a Creator, Pleasure to Kill back patch, Rigor Mortis patch, Hobbs Angel of Death, stuff like that.
Cool.
And there's a guy sitting at the bar, we can eat at a bar at Denny's.
Yes.
He's sitting there, and he's like, hey, bro, you like metal? And Craig's like, yeah, I like metal.
I know. That's cringeworthy. When you go out in public and someone says, you like metal,
right.
That conversation is going to be like, wah, wah,
well, his
wah.
where he came, he's like, yeah, do you like stuff like Pantera? And Craig's like, oh, no, I like bands heavier than Pantera. He's like, what's heavier than Pantera? He's like, lots of stuff.
Well, it's great.
Because the guy was legit, can you believe it? I can't believe it. There's a such thing?
Well, yeah, I'd get the thing, if I don't know, you got to the supermarket and someone's like, you're into metal or something like that? And, what's up?
Yeah, we're doing a video. Somebody else wants...
Yes. We'll see you guys a little later, okay? After this, we'll see what's up. Thank you. You go to the supermarket, someone's like, and I'll accidentally, I don't always wear my metal shirts out because I hate it when people bug the crap out of me and talk about nonsense, they talk about stuff I don't care about.
Yeah.
Because, I'm not going to go to the supermarket and find someone that's going to be able to talk to me about, I don't know, Cryptic Slaughter or whatever, So, anyway, it's just, they'll be like, oh, you're into metal. It's like, yeah, it's like, you know, oh, like Bon Jovi or something, you know? They'll go like to like the lameness, beyond lame, you know? It's like, come on. You're really a metalhead if you listen to Bon Jovi. It's like, that's not even, doesn't even qualify as metal, yeah. I mean, even when Bon Jovi was like coming out, it was just like, I didn't even think they were metal, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's always cringeworthy when you see those like, oh, dude, you're into metal, dude. I'm into metal too. You know, be like, I'm into Five Finger Death Punch. And I'm like, cool. I'm like, awesome. Like, I just want to get away.
Yeah. Well, how many people asked you then? Because when I talked to you at the Cleveland show last, because I put it on the video, I was like, go up to John McEntee and ask him if he likes Slaughter to Prevail. And you actually have people come up?
Yes, I
so,
did.
like, did you even know, like, when they were first asking, did you know because it was the channel, or like they just randomly, like, how did they approach you with it? Like, hey, J-Dawg says there's no way you like.
Yeah.
How did they
kind of like that, you know?
But what did you say to that? Like, oh,
I'm like, oh, they're my favorite band, you know?
This is like, I would bet money you never even heard it, I'm sure.
No, you know, it's funny because, especially at that time, I didn't hear. I mean, I've seen the logo somewhere. I know it exists, but I, you know, it's not my world. But it's crazy because all of a sudden I've been seeing them everywhere. Like, since you telling people to talk about Slaughter to Prevail, now, like, if I ever go on Instagram or something, I'll see Slaughter to Prevail on there. It's like almost when my phone heard it, and it's like now it's pushing it to me. And holy fuck, I fucking hate that stuff.
Right.
I hate that.
But what's the most annoying about that stuff, I don't know if you realize this, and I used them as a reference, is the youth of today, they generally believe, like, if you say, I listen to death metal, they reference like that. I'm like, dude, that's literally an insult.
That's very true. When people ask me what I play, and if I do tell them I play death metal, exactly, they think it's like, I don't know, what is Slaughter to Prevail? Are they metalcore? I don't know.
Deathcore.
Yeah.
So,
I get confused with the styles.
So do I, but I'm pretty sure they reference themselves as deathcore. Okay. I think so.
And it blows my mind because it's just like, you know, but people that don't know about metal think that that's death metal.
Yeah.
It's so retarded because it's like, I don't care if that stuff exists. Metalcore, have a blast doing it. But why are you calling that death metal is an insult? That's the problem. It's not the problem that like these lame styles exist that I don't like. Because it's like, whatever, I don't like it, but someone else might like it. That's great. But don't get it confused with what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's like you're going to be massively disappointed because, you know, I mean, the amount of Slaughter to Prevail chunks we have is probably like so minute, if anything, you know, ever. So, but yeah, it just, it sucks.
And would you say it's an accurate statement? Granted, the little you know about them, my litmus test and the whole thing, I was like, dude, if you were to go to Slaughter Prevail show and ask every single person in that building, do you like possess 7 churches? I would guarantee you well over 90%, they don't even know what it is.
Yes.
And that to me is just, I was like, how do you claim you're into this style? Forget if you even like the album, if you consider it a thrash album. If you don't even know what it is, to me, you're not into this kind of music.
Well, there's a weird thing because when I grew up in the scene, you know, like there were all these people that were like, kind of like my mentors at like radio station, college radio station people and other people, fanzine writers that would, you know, introduce me to new music and stuff through those channels. And then later on, like 10 years later, I see these people and they're into like, I don't know, Slipknot and all these bands. And I'm just like, how does this happen? Like, how do you go from like introducing me to Necrovore to like being, you know, super Slipknot fan?
You're talking about the guys that were in the legitimate stuff. They got into those?
Yeah, like a lot of those people, they kind of like, these legit people, they like grew in, like, it's almost like, it bums me out because I'm like, were they legitimately into it at that time? Or were they just like liking it because it was cool and then they go on to the next thing? It's just, cause I've seen that a lot of my quote unquote mentor type people like really lame stuff. It's almost like they're more into having their pulse on what's happening in the metal scene than having any styles that they actually sincerely enjoy, you know? And a lot of those people frowned upon bands like us, which were pushing it more underground. So they're just like, you know, and they're the ones that are introducing me to like Hellhammer on the radio or I don't know, Minotaur, I don't know, whatever band you want to say, bands that I never heard of before. And then like years later, they're the ones, you know, saying like, you know, something wrong because you're following in their footsteps, you know, doing it the next way. It's really a strange thing.
What is your, I guess it goes in line in life, call them posers or whatnot, but you've seen it more than I would because you're older. Kind of along the lines you're saying is the guys that you meet your age or slightly around, they're kind of like they say, like, I used to be into that stuff. What annoys me about that, I'm like, dude, if you're using that line, you were never truly into it because that's like saying I used to be into pussy, bro. I used to like pizza. Like, you don't get out of that shit because you generally like it, right? Hence, you may not get into a bunch of new death metal bands, but you would at least like the ones that you possessed and death and autopsy shit you grew up with. And I used to like it. I was like, dude, that is the biggest poser fucking goddamn statement I ever heard. What do you mean you used to? Do you like dudes now? You don't like pussy? I mean, that's literally kind of what you're telling me. I used to.
You're right,
that,
though.
Bro.
I know it totally makes sense. I don't get it, you know? It's like, the thing is like, you could like, I mean, it's normal to like the stuff you grew up with. I mean, you grew up with listening to it. It's like bands that I grew up with liking, I still like them. Maybe I don't listen to as much, but they still qualify under like, okay, these are bands I was into and it's cool. I wouldn't like shun it, but it's really lame that when people say that, because it's super poser. It's like they say they grow out of it. It's like, even on a Garza podcast, someone made a comment that, I used to listen to Incantation, but I grew out of them. It's like, you grew out of it. Were you really a fan? Yeah, like you said, or just a trend person, you know? Because that's just lame. I don't know. It's like, there's no age where all of a sudden, I can't listen to this anymore. I got to listen to like dad rock or something like that. It's like, that's just bullshit. I mean, listen to what the fuck you like, you know? Like, when you go home, you listen to the albums you want to listen to. Don't say, I can't listen to Cannibal Corpse because I'm over 40 now and I got to listen to Celine Dion or something. You know? That's just stupid. I mean, even if you like Celine Dion, doesn't mean you don't like Cannibal Corpse anymore because you used to like them. Those things are just retarded. I think society just sucks. And that's why I'm kind of like an anti-society kind of dude. I just don't like following these rules of society. It's bullshit, It's like, just be what you're fucking into and be proud of it. And just, if people don't like it, fuck off. And who cares if someone has a different point of view as you? I mean, who gives a fuck? Like what you like and they like what they like and everybody has a blast. But the condescending people that want to say like, I used to listen to that, that's fucking lame as fuck.
What would you say to, I guess your stance now, but even let's say even 20 years ago, so let's say the early 2000s, because they would still have been considered that, you guys being a larger death metal band in the all in all, but the three largest death metal bands kind of like that carry that torch is usually recognized as Cannibal Corpse, Deicide, Morbid Angel. I'm not sure how much of that you're a fan of, but the question is like, especially going back 20 years ago, what was your take on those being recognized as the leading death metal bands and someone that maybe isn't fully into this, hasn't heard a band like Immolation or Incantation, they're like, I like death metal, and they kind of know just that, or maybe as far as Obituary, were you okay with those bands kind of like, they carried the torch, or were you kind of like, this isn't really the true definition of death metal in my opinion, I thought it was more like Autopsy and shit like that, or like, did you feel as an acceptable bands to carry the torch for the least name of the genre?
I know what you're saying. I don't think any band that does well, I'm happy for, especially being a musician. I know how hard it is. But no, I thought, at that time period, for me, like, Morbid Angel's Formula's Fatal to the Flesh was a fantastic album.
Oh, so you did like that. I didn't think I figured you were maybe up to Ultra Madness.
No.
You're not as bad as Dom.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I thought you're okay.
No, Formula's Fatal to the Flesh is probably my second or third favorite Morbid Angel album. I like.
Did you like Domination though?
Domination was okay, but not for me, it was a little bit on the downhill. But
it's really watered down.
Yeah, but it's not my favorite album by him. I would say it's lower on the list. I like, of course, Abomination Desolation. That was the first album I heard by him. So it's sentimental to me, and I like the Mike Browning vocals on there, and I like it's the overall vibe of the album. It has a great vibe. Altars, obviously, I like a lot. Blessed Are the Sick, I think is good. Covenant, I think is good. Domination is a little bit, so it's like the worst of those ones.
Yeah.
But I mean, at that time period, a Bad Morbid Angel album is still pretty damn good, I think. I mean, in the scope of things. But then for me, when they did Formulas, for me it was like they got back on track to like stuff I prefer a lot. But anyway, getting off topic. I thought Cannibal Corpse. I thought Cannibal Corpse for me excelled when they got George Fisher in the band. So I like the later Cannibal Corpse stuff more than I do the earlier stuff.
So is that a band? Because I never pictured you sitting down and playing Cannibal Corpse. Don't get me wrong, I know you didn't hate them. The hell, you did a tour with them in the early 2000s. You, Dark Funeral, and Cannibal when they were on the Corpse.
Yeah, Pissing Razors, yeah.
Yeah. We were at that. But I never pictured you, like, putting them on the player yourself and spinning them. I think it's something you want to shut off, but I didn't picture you actually, like, picking up a record and putting it on.
I mean, I hear them a lot because they're Cannibal Corpse, and you hear them everywhere that people are playing death metal. But I really, for me, their high point is Gallery of Suicide.
Okay.
I love that album.
Okay.
I haven't listened to that one for a while, to be fair, but when that came out at that time, I listened to that one a lot. I was really, as a fan of death metal, I was really impressed that such a one of the higher echelon bands that I liked the stuff before it, but that one, when I heard Vile, I thought that was really good. And then Gallery of Suicide, I was like, wow, this is really, they really, in my little weird metal world, they prove that these guys are honest. These guys are really into it, you know? So yeah, I like that. What was Deicide? Deicide, it took me a little while to get into Deicide. I'm not, never was like massively against them necessarily, but it just, I just didn't quite get it until a little later on and stuff. And now I think they're good. I just, I don't know, for some reason when they first came out, it just didn't click with me or whatever. It wasn't until, and I seen them live a couple of times. I didn't think they sounded so good live on top of it. So it never really, because live is usually where I like really enjoy my death metal experience. But I've seen them later years, and I think they sound fucking awesome live, you know, and way better than my interpretation of them in the past. And there was a fourth band, you said? What was the fourth one?
Well, I think those three, but I mean, obviously, you got bands like Obituary and shit.
Obituary, yeah. I mean, Obituary, I mean, obviously, the first two are amazing, but Obituary is one of those bands, like, you know it when you hear it, and it's refreshing, I think. I mean, I like that Frozen in Time album. I thought it was pretty good when it came out. I was happy that they were back. I mean, yeah, I like Obituary. I'm a fan of them. I mean, you know, to be fair, I go Slowly Rot is really my favorite. I mean, the impact that the album made at the time was awesome. And get to the point of them holding the flag of death metal, I think it's good because a band like Us or Immolation wasn't going to cut through the mindset of the early 2000s scene, because that's when metalcore, deathcore, symphonic, whatever style, black metal or power metal, everything was getting like these big choruses, and metal was getting super watered down. So, like, I know for us, we had no expectation that people were gonna like run out and buy our Blasphemy album. And we did that Blasphemy album as an intentional fuck you to the scene, because it was like, we're still at it. We're doing it our way. We know before we even put it out that it's not going to do very well compared to what's out there. But we're like, fuck everybody. If they're not into it, it's not my problem if you're a poser. Nothing I can do about it. I'm trying. I'm giving you the music. Yeah. You got to grab it.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm not going to force you. If you want to listen to your Five Finger Death Punch or Seven Dust, you know, have a blast, you know, enjoy it.
What about this? You know this one? I wrestled a bear once. Ever heard of that dog shit?
I heard of that.
I never heard it, but dude, that's the one I look at the name. I'm like, dude, I don't even want to like it.
Yeah, or was it Beartooth or something? Is a band? I forget. There's so many bands with sentence names. I might have seen the logo, but I have no idea what's going on. You know,
So, but
I'm just not into that.
If that ever comes across your way, let's say it's in the grocery store or whatever, and you don't want to be a dick, but somebody says, "Yeah, no, I like it," and like they're trying to like converse, like, how do you even correct them, or you just say, "Oh, that's cool, bro"?
No,
or
I'm just like, I just kind of blow it off, you know.
Okay.
So I mean, no use trying to get like the last thing I want to do is debate what I like compared to what like normal people like. You know?
I'm just thinking if they're trying to like jive, like they think they're on the same length, like. Yeah, do you like, yeah, bro, do you like Slaughter to Prevail? And if you're like, nah, I don't really like that stuff.
Yeah.
Surely they're going to be like, oh, well, what do you like then? Do you just like even bother to tell them? Or do you like,
I soften the blow. I'm not going to say, I don't know, I'm into fucking, you know, whatever, some massacre demos or something. I'm going to say like, oh, you know, like Slayer, and I like
Okay.
Slayer. I like, I'll try to find like, I'll say like old Metallica, I don't know, something to kind of like soften the blow, because it's no use. Like I think those conversations at the supermarket with the whatever bro metal kind of weird thing it is. I don't know what even it is, but it's like having those conversations trying to prove my point are absolutely useless, you know. But one thing that really did disturb me is that, like, for me, like, I was really bummed out that the bands that play metalcore used the term metalcore, because my metalcore was the metalcore back in the 80s, where it was like bands that were mixing hardcore and thrash kind of, you know, or metalcore. We used to play with metalcore bands in the 80s, and they weren't bad bands, you know, but then it got hijacked by this new thing, and they changed the name, and it just got really, for my really lame, but it was also another branch of metal, a subgenre that, you know, for me, I can care less if it exists, but it obviously means something to a lot of people. And to be fair, those styles, you know, some of those people learn at a certain point, like there's actually real metal out there. It's a gateway thing.
Yeah,
it was kind of like the Pantera and the Slipknot. It's like when those bands were coming out, I was like, oh, terrible, you know?
So you were thinking at the time, for sure.
Yeah, of course. I mean, you're like, oh, what's going on with metal, you know? But then I realized that, like, this was people's gateway. Like, you know, I had Motley Crue or something, you know, Twisted Sister, I heard, got me into metal and stuff. Yeah. It's like Pantera's their Twisted Sister there or whatever, you know?
The 90s, yeah.
So it's kind of like, I realized that they have their place. I was just more of an elitist prick when I was younger, you know, but at a certain point, you start to realize these cool people are also, you know, they might have grew up on those kind of stuff, you know, those Slipknot, Pantera, gateway things, you know. So I realize now that all these different styles have their own place, and I just don't care about them, you know. I don't listen to them, but I just don't care about them, you know.
Yeah.
What's up, Woody?
Walk for the camera.
How you doing?
It's a wood dog right in the camera shot.
Yeah, you're right in the camera shot. You're showing your ass to the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's
goddamn wood dog just jumping right on in.
The wood grinder.
It was a non-working weekend.
I'll see you later. Yeah, I mean, and it is true. I mean, the styles that like people like us would make fun of, I get it, but at the same time, they do have their place into it, because it's like someone isn't going to go right and listen to, you know, whatever. Let's say we're not going to right and listen to Incantations. I want to go Gothic. It's not going to be someone's first introduction. It's like I never believed the kids back in the early 90s said like, yeah, like my first metal album was Carcass's Symphonies of Sickness. I'm like, I'm sure that you just happen to go in the store and buy that and then not buy the million like poser albums that are in your face. You're gonna say, oh, this Symphony of Sickness is my first album I bought, you know. So they're gonna grow into it. So I mean, I know it might sound like I'm soft in my old age, but it's all part of the puzzle. It's just, you know, how can I can't relate to some of the later newer styles, because to me it's just these sub-styles. Like everything keeps getting more and more condensed over time into these like less innovative, like all these rules for all these styles, and it just kills the fucking shit out of me because it was so much nicer back in my day doing it because it was just there wasn't all these subsects of music. It was like heavy metal, death metal, we can call it like death metal, you can call it speed metal, we call it deathcore, called it whatever we call grindcore, death grind, but it was all basically extreme music like a death metal or grindcore. Of course, everything splits up a little bit, but now it's so split up that it's just fucked.
Yeah.
I think it's like, I mean, there's even bands that are like in-can style bands, like a band basically does their whole band based on our sound, which of course is an honor. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. People give a shit about it that much. They have their own band that sounds just like us. But at the same time, it's like, come on, fucking do your own thing here.
What's in an offense? Would you agree, though, since the style's been so done and there's so many bands, it's almost impossible to do something completely original? Like, you almost just have to do something that has already been done? Or would you say there's room for something that's never been done?
Well, I think there's always room for growth. I don't find metal so limited, but a lot of people do. I think the mind, if you use your mind to express yourself musically, you can come up with way more original stuff. I mean, I don't think you're ever going to be as original as the people in the 80s and 90s because there was much more, it was way easier to be original back then. But I still think you can have your own personality in your music and make it special enough where it deserves to exist in the world. Because to me, it's like in the late 90s, also another style that was popular was all of a sudden, all these bands decided they wanted to be Halloween. And it was just like, okay, I like Walls of Jericho, it's a great album, but it's like, do I need fucking 50 new albums on Nuclear Blast Records that all sound like Halloween? It's like, to me, and like slicker sounding, so it takes all the edge out of it. So it makes like a song, like I don't need Halloween Light. That stuff would just drive me up a wall. 'Cause I'm like, put your own thing to this. Make this music your own. Don't just listen to some other album and be like, oh, I like how that is. Let's just copy this. Because then it's like, well, just listen to the original. Like that was my thing back then. I was like, there's no need for these albums in my collection to exist because I have the original albums and I can enjoy them. And if a band comes out, not that it has to be original, but it has to have some personality to it that makes it them, not just makes it, this is the style I like playing, so I'm playing the style. No, this is who I am in the style, express yourself. That's what's important to me in music. And it's important to me in any bands that I listen to, I mean, not saying everything has to be original, but it has to be passionate. Like for me, I love Sarcophagus Hate album. I don't like drum machine albums in death metal or black metal. I guess it's more of a death metal. I don't know. I consider Sarcophagus. That's why I like them because they sound like themselves. But that album, it's just, you listen to it and you just want to tell the whole world, middle fingers everywhere, fuck everybody. And that's like perfect. That's, you want, when you listen to metal, you want to feel that rebellious feeling of fuck everybody. This is what I'm into. You might be into your stupid, wimpy stuff. I'm telling everybody, piss off. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Birds for everybody,
Yeah.
But that's the way I think music should be, but definitely metal. Because it grew out of being rebellious.
Yeah.
It's like, if that rebellious edge is gone, it's like you're taking the essence of why it even exists. It's like, if you don't want to be rebellious, there's no reason for metal to exist in the beginning.
So what do you think about, bring that? 'Cause I mean, they're really trying to wimpify it now because...
Who's that?
Well, I don't know who it is, the higher up authorities, where they're trying to really wimpify it, like the whole cancel culture thing that exists in society, they're bringing it into metal as well.
Yeah.
And funny enough, you guys somewhat experienced it, but not directly. But I know Craig Miller gets a little bit of a bad rap, since he was associated with Incan.
Yes.
Point being is, I don't give a shit what he's into or not into. My whole thing is, cancel culture, I don't believe in canceling freedom of speech, period. But he damn sure don't cancel it in fucking metal. Shit that's supposed to be offensive, it's supposed to offend.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's something you don't agree with or you don't like, just don't buy it. But to try to get rid of it and what's supposed to be, like you said, rebellious, well, that literally blows my fucking mind.
Well, that goes to my point with these other styles of metal that I don't like. It's like, I don't like them, but I don't cancel them. I just don't go to the shows. I don't buy the albums. And that's enough of a protest.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I don't need to wave a flag being like, whatever, band sucks. Well, you know, it doesn't matter. Or go on the internet and even slag the band. It's like, there's no use for it. Who cares? You know, it's like, just fucking, you know, it's like, you don't like it, just fucking, you know, just don't listen to it. Any of that canceling stuff is just dumb.
Did you guys have to deal with that then, or he just Disbug? I know Disbug did. But I know when you guys
no, he never did. I mean,
I would say no, when he came back,
all
he
that stuff,
shows that they try to have anybody ban you or anything.
all that stuff happened after he left the band. I mean, it was like a good 2 years, 3 years when he was out of the band, he did that controversial stuff. So it was before our time with him. But, I mean, we haven't really gotten any problem. I mean, a few people here or there that don't know nothing would bring it up to me. But it's bullshit because it's like, you know, I'm like, what are you even talking about? You know, it's like, it's like, we have nothing to do with this. Like, you know, I mean, I have just great memories of jamming with Craig, you know, and all the guys and all we're about that. We were a hungry band. We're having fun. We're expressing ourselves in the music. We did a great job. We did some great music. And it's like, we were just there for the music, you know. I mean, to be fair, you know, we weren't the best of friends in the band, but we all came together as a musical entity and did something. What everyone did in their free time was their business or whatever. But I would never, you know, like say, the way I'm trying to explain it is my memories of Craig is a positive thing, you know? And I get it. He's done some stuff that is a little controversial, whatever, but it's his life. He does what he wants to do with it. And, you know, because I don't care about that stuff. It doesn't, you know, if he does, okay, that's his thing. But, you know, I mean, if he were in the band at the time he was doing that stuff, maybe I'd have a talk with him and be like, dude, you can't be doing this stuff. It's fucking ridiculous, you know? I mean, it's like, if you want to do this stuff, you know, maybe we've got to go our own way because, you know, last thing I would ever want is anything political whatsoever to be involved in incantation because it has nothing to do with any politics whatsoever. It's all about escaping from politics, not throwing it in there. You know, that probably makes death metal more divisive when you incorporate these strong political views into it because you're taking away getting away from the, like, you know, real world life. Like, I go to MBF, last thing I want to worry about is what's going on in fucking the political world.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm to the point where I don't even pay attention at home, but I definitely don't do that when I'm at a metal show. The last thing I want to deal with is that kind of bullshit, you know? Because I don't care if it's stuff I agree with or don't agree with. I don't give a fuck. I just want to play fucking metal and just fucking, you know, hang out with like-minded people and just play some fucking shows, you know? It's like, as long as they're not, like, making it illegal for me to play. And I'm very much against censorship because the stuff that we sing about, anti-religious, very controversial, to some people that are religious, if they decide they want to cancel that kind of stuff.
That's my argument, exactly.
It's like when you cancel things, everybody has different moral standards, so it makes it a slippery slope to say, first they cancel the stuff that maybe you agree with, but then they cancel the stuff you do agree with.
That was my argument. I was like, guys, we keep pushing this cancel culture. I was like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that they're going to go on to stuff like Cannibal Corpse next. You can make the argument.
Of course you can make the argument. I mean, you get someone that does not understand anything about it and just reads these bands' lyrics.
Yeah.
They can easily look at it and be like, you know, I mean, look what they were trying to do in the 80s with the PMRC. I mean, it's like, that stuff drove me up a wall because, that was Tipper Gore's wife that was doing it, which ended up being her vice president. I'm like, you guys put in the vice president wants to cancel fucking metal?
Yeah.
It's like, I know maybe the other guy sucks too, but someone that wants to cancel metal, that's high on my list of not being proud.
Yeah.
Not being happy they're in power, you know?
Sure. Now, somebody, if like Craig walked in here now, are you guys on good terms? Would he say hello, or would you guys not speak?
Yeah, no, we're on good terms. I mean,
okay.
we I wouldn't say we're like close friends, but we have a history together.
Yeah.
And we need to, be, if we want to, we still do things with the old albums and stuff, like to be in contact with them when doing stuff. And plus, it's just nice to be able to see somebody you created something good with and be able to have a good relationship with,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't, whatever he does on his free time is his thing. I do whatever I do on free time. We hang out together, we shake hands, we'll talk. I mean, you could say all the bad stuff you want to say about him. It's like, who knows where I would be without jamming with him. And I owe him that respect of showing appreciation to him and stuff. Plus, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Anybody that played in the band and had something to do with, making the band move forward or whatever, deserves my attention, at least appreciation for the stuff they did do for the band. Even if I disagree with other things, it's like I could disagree with somebody politically and still be cool with them. They don't have to be, people don't have to. I mean, I deal with people that disagree with me all the time. People think my music sucks or whatever. I don't care. If someone comes with me and says they think Incantation sucks, I'm like, okay. Join the line.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, if the dude's cool, I'm friends with a lot of bands or people from other bands. I'm sure they don't like us. Like I met 2 years ago. I met my old friends from New Jersey, guys from DAWG. You think I'm listening to DAWG? No, of course not.
Yeah.
But we have a history. We're friends, and we hang out, and we talk. And I have no idea anything about anything, but we have a connection from the old scene, and it was nice to see them. I would do that with anybody that I'm friends with. Or try to be friends with, or try to be nice to. You got to show respect to people. And yeah, I mean, I never bring up politics. When people bring up politics, I don't want to talk about it because it's like, this is bullshit, This is fucking metal. It's like, maybe if we were a punk band and, okay, maybe it fits in a little better. But I listen to punk bands all the time, especially back in the day, and I still do this day, and I never even think about, I don't care what the lyrics are, as far as if I agree with them or not. If I like the song, I like the song, I'm just not that political beast.
Yeah.
But some people these days are like, they're so worried about that stuff, and I'm just like, okay, worry about it yourself, but for me, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Now, when he was in,
What's that?
he was in twice. When you had Will Rahmer in the beginning,
Yes.
he was on like Entrapment of Evil at that time, and especially when he came back in '96, did another fucking recording.
Yes,
Both times he
demo.
was in. Did you guys know this is just temporary? Did we know he's not a permanent member,
Yeah,
or was there any thoughts
no.
of being a permanent member?
Both times we knew he wasn't. He knew he was.
Like he knew it too. Like he's
Yeah.
out.
Well, yeah. To make it clear, I was playing with Mortician back in '90 as a session guitar player, and because he was helping me as a session guitar player, I was helping him as a session guitar player. I asked him when we were doing our demo, because we didn't have a vocalist yet, I asked him, well, could you come in and sing on our demo for us? And he said, yeah, he'll do it. We basically two friends helping out each other. I was playing in his band, he was playing in my band for a little while. And the plan was always, I would stay in the band for as long as I can. At least we get the demo, maybe play a couple shows. Hopefully we could find someone else to play a Mortician. And then hopefully we could find someone to sing for Incantation. And then, he found Roger, which was amazing. Roger brought so much to Mortician, I thought. And then we had Craig Pillard who joined us, and Craig brought a lot to what we were doing. So it was almost like we were like these spacers that were good in each other's band, but both bands expanded and got better when we actually found the right person. But we were still able to function as a band, play some shows together. And then in '96, we were in between vocalists. We had a couple of session guys, Dwayne, we had Nathan Rossi, we had a couple of people fill in on vocals, but nobody was right. And we figured we're going to do the demo. Let's ask Will if he'll do it again, And Will graciously came in and did it. We just said, okay, well, this time we'll do the demo and we'll just play a couple shows just because it would be cool, because it was fucking awesome. It was just Kyle and myself in the band at the time. We had Mary from Primeval playing bass, and that was fucking awesome. We had Will Rahmer on vocals, and we had Mike Sayas, who eventually playing the band later on guitar. So it was really, and he was playing with Mortician at the time. So it was, for us, we just took it as a little fun thing. We'll do the demo, which will help us out, find us a new record deal, and then we get to play a couple shows with our friends on top of it. Let's have a good time. And it was fun because, we did the new songs that we did with Will, and then we did just the demo songs that a demo and the Trevor the Evil songs with Will. And that was fun. We played like 3 shows. I think one of them was actually with Deicide, matter of fact.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that,
in Staten Island. And
you did one in Cleveland, though, too, didn't you?
Cleveland. You did one in Cleveland, Staten Island, and one other place I can't remember. And it was fun. It was fun to do. I mean, I have a lot of appreciation and respect for Will because he helped us out. We really needed it 2 times in a row, And he's, he's one of the truest metal people I know. I mean, remember back in the day, Morticians, like, he had this huge fucking collection of VHS tapes of all his horror stuff. And I was into horror, but I never was around somebody that was like that obsessed with it. Like, he knew everything. We'd jam, we'd work on stuff, and then just watch horror movies. It was a blast. I mean, some of the best times was jamming with Mortician stuff. It was just crazy. I mean, Mortician back then was volatile. Lots of insanity, but it was fun. We were kids.
What was your take? You brought up earlier, Sarcophago, Hate, Drum Machine, but you saw Mortician and it's even with them during the times when they had no drum machine. Then Roger comes along and they had the drum machine.
Yes.
Some people loved it, some people hate it. Like, what was your whole take on seeing the band that you knew previously, now they're using a drum machine? We're like, man, don't do that. That's stupid. Or did you like it? Or like, fits, it's different. Or
I mean, the first when we were playing with Matt Sitcher, he wasn't the best drummer, but we still had a fun time playing with Matt. It was great. But what was it? I was a little skeptical when they did the drum machine. I thought it was good, but for me, I'm just not a huge fan of. I like those songs when they play with a drummer. When they play with Sam, they sound great. On album, it sounds good, but I just prefer the real drummer. But to be fair, my favorite Mortician release is Zombie Apocalypse.
Okay.
So good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, when I heard that, I was like, you motherfuckers, you just made it the heaviest fucking thing on earth.
So do you think it's safe to say, like, when I call them the heaviest band in the world, do you think that's a completely ridiculous statement? You're like, yeah, it's an argument.
No, I agree. I like to pretend in my world that we're the heaviest band in the world, but Zombie Apocalypse is probably the heaviest thing out there. I mean, we got to tour with it. We toured with, it was Incantation, Mortician, Anal Gun tour around that time when Zombie Apocalypse came out. And it was cool. It was playing playing guitar, and the dude from another dude from Cleveland, I can't remember his name, was playing drums for him. But anyway, and what was the other guy? Had the blonde guitar player too. I can't remember. I'm terrible with names.
Yeah.
Anyway, when we toured with them, it was just so heavy. It was just like, it was so great because Will's up there just like. I mean, big guy and just with the bass and everything, but just the whole band was just like, it was just like, it's just such a great, it just hits me in my
it's funny
soul.
about Zombie Apocalypse, I don't know if you know this, Will told me this in person. Actually, the interview I shot with him on the channel, it was right after that, I was in the car. He told me I was driving him to the venue, and are you a Misfits fan?
Yeah, I like Misfits.
Okay, well, I can't remember if it was either Jerry Only or Doyle, it was one of them. Will was telling me, I forget the whole story, but talking to whatever, he gave them Zombie Apocalypse. And the reporter back, I don't remember the exact words, like, holy fuck, that's like shit was insane. I was like, do you think they liked it? He's like, probably not, but they heard it. I know they listened to it.
Yes.
I was like, I never, because when he told me that, I was like, I would have never thought, going to let they would have heard of Mortician or knew what it is. That's pretty cool if they heard it and like, oh fuck, oh god.
Yes.
Holy shit. But it was he said it was Zombie Apocalypse again with that CD.
That's just
Yeah, I don't know.
it's like, I mean, I'm a fan of all their stuff, but the Zombie Apocalypse to me, it's like the perfect amount of heavy, and it's just like, it's not a lot of songs, but it's just like once you hear it, you just like it's almost like a bulldozer just rolled over you and it's just done and that's it. And that's sometimes it's good to have like it's better sometimes not to stay at the party too long, you know. And with that album, I mean, it's really EP, I guess. It's the right amount of brutality, heaviness, and then it's out there, and then you're just left, floored. So I love it.
Yeah.
It really is. It's my favorite one by him for sure. I mean, I love the songs I play with him. You know, the Mortal Massacre,
Red Rum and all that.
I mean, that was fucking fun as fuck to play. And when we did what was it? A tour. We had Sam help us out on tour because Kyle couldn't do one tour in Europe at the last minute. So we decided we played Mortician, the song Mortician live.
Oh, you guys with it
yeah,
again?
We did. I mean, we played like Party Sam. We played a couple of fests. I think we played Motor Culture Fest. And we just played it because figured Sam's there. I know the song already playing in the band. Like, just be a fun thing to do, you know? Just like no one would expect us to do it, even though it's, you know, it's a little part of my history, but it's part of my history.
Yeah. What's it at? Where we at? 46.
I'm good at babbling.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Is there anything I didn't bring up, Kyle, that you wanted to mention or shout out or bring up? Like, working on anything new? Kyle did anything stupid recently? Anything like that?
I mean, the list is really long for dumb things Kyle did.
What?
We 45 minutes. You have another 45 minutes, and that's just to touch the surface. The only thing. No, I'm not talking. It's
Maybe
not about
out or
Kyle.
advertise.
No, but there's it was. Yeah, I don't want to get into it, but
anything bad that you should advertise as a businessman. Maybe a release coming up. Maybe you're doing something new. Maybe you got shows.
Okay, well, let's see what we got going on here. Well, after we play tomorrow, which is
Oh, you guys play tomorrow night, not today.
tomorrow, but
So
this will be done way after it, so we'll play a couple weeks
Set the
ago.
Skin, Kyle said, check that goddamn new album out. Just came out a couple fucking weeks ago.
Yes.
The show for record. What do you call it? Record release.
Record release show.
Oh, this is a record release show, huh?
End of the tour show
Skin
too.
here at Maryland Deathmetal. This is the record
End of the
release
tour.
show.
End of the tour.
After the
release
show, you'd be like, have your end of the tour toast.
Yes, it's everything. This is the beginning of the tour one. After the last song will be the end.
So you guys, as far as styles, Kyle says check out the new Shed the Skin.
Yes.
And Kyle, what do you got working on, John?
Well, I only just started working on some new Incant stuff, so there's Incant stuff in the works. We have a tour in June that we're doing.
Where's that? US? Where's that?
Europe tour, and then
Are you doing the Mortal Throne album over there too, or just
no,
catalog?
we're doing a old school catalog mostly, except like we'll say
Diabolical
90% old 90s set in Europe.
Okay.
A couple of newer ones in there, but no, we're only doing the Mortal Throne and Golgotha stuff if someone asks us to do it. You know, we're not like just doing it at all the shows or whatever.
Okay.
I mean, you know, if people don't ask for it, fuck them. You know, they don't really want to hear it then.
Yeah. Why
And
not?
for us, it's good. I mean, we're fine playing the older stuff or newer stuff or whatever. For us, it's all good. But we are really excited to do Onward. We've been working really hard on capturing the vibe of the set, and we haven't played that album in its entirety for a while. We played it yesterday at practice, but no one's besides Yo-Yo seen it, so
Okay.
we haven't really played it in public for a while. But it should be fun. We're playing a bunch of fests. We have the Blades of Steel. We're playing September Negro Fest in Brazil. We're doing the Quebec Deathmetal Barbecue in July. And we're playing, I don't remember what the name of it is, but Daytona Beach in the end of September, a fest there.
You guys play a
with
lot.
Dying
Yeah, you guys do a
Fetus.
lot of shit.
And but we don't have any other tours booked in the moment. But of course, there's stuff in the works. But we're trying to slow down on touring, but it keeps getting these fucking cool opportunities, and we love hanging out and playing. So it's hard to sometimes say no. But let's see. We hope we can get Nunslaughter Don off his ass and fucking do some touring with us. We were talking
Did you
about.
ask him?
Oh yeah, I asked him. want to do something. What was it? Maybe 2 years ago now. I wanted to do a Profanatica.
Incantation Nunslaughter. That actually
Yes.
really cool.
Yeah. And those fuckers do fucking Nunslaughter and fucking
Oh, so you
Profanatica.
guys are all supposed to be the throw. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, I toss out the idea and you guys steal it, you motherfuckers.
Fuck us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was like, I went to the show in Piedmont, South Carolina. I was like, motherfuckers, dude. I was like,
Right.
so I still hope that we could do that tour. 'Cause for me, that would just be cool. I mean, I always loved playing with Profanatica and stuff, love hanging out with Paul. And then, having Nunslaughter on here would just be a perfect,
It's like old school shit.
old school bill, you know? I mean, that's the kind of stuff, like if I'm organized and I want to do stuff like that, you know, old bands I like, or just old school bands, you know. Of course, it's good to play with newer bands and stuff too, but a lot of like those kind of tours are more just good opportunity tours, which are cool to play, but, you know, if we're setting it up, I like to try to keep it more, I want bands that I can watch around and be like, fuck yeah, it's more fun to watch, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we always said if we booked it,
It's true.
we lose money.
Yeah.
Yes,
It never
yeah.
does well.
Well, all the bands we like nobody knows.
Yeah.
So we're like psyched to have this awesome band on tour. And
I'm just so curious in that Garza interview you did, how many people even knew what the fuck Necrovore was when you brought that up?
Yes,
Like most of them are probably total deer in headlights, dick in the mouth.
Book it, and it does fucking great. Bands that you don't know.
yeah. We always do good on tours when we don't know any of the bands. When I know the bands, it's like even when Kyle and I booked the Enslaved tour with Absu, it was like we were excited to bring a European band over, but nobody gave a fuck because no one knew it Enslaved yet because it was before they got popular. But for us, we're thinking like, oh, it's gonna be so cool bringing this fucking cool Viking black metal band.
Nobody cares.
And if we get here, like, nobody cares. We're like,
Mexico,
yeah,
Canada,
it was crazy. So
Now everybody and their mom likes them.
yeah, and then like the next album, they explode.
Yeah.
They're like,
Yeah,
okay,
thank God.
we gave them like a little punt, and they just took it and went. I'm like, fuck, dude, you know.
Right.
But we had a fun time on that tour. That was a fun tour. Those guys were great.
All right, well, you guys heard it. You got all those shitload of fill in your town. Check out goddamn Incan.
Yeah, don't be a poser.
Don't be a fucking poser,
I mean,
goddamn.
all we could do is give you the music. If you don't want to listen to it and be a poser, that's your problem. We're trying, though. We're trying to help you guys out there.
You heard it, goddamn it. Later.